All right, let's dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer where we're going to be mastering Praxis Core Reading Inference. Honestly, this is one of the absolutely crucial, yet kind of frequently misunderstood skills you need to completely conquer the Praxis Core Reading exam. I am so glad you're here with us, because today we are breaking down inference-based questions. You know, if you've ever stared at a reading comprehension passage and just felt like the answer was hiding right out of plain sight, well, you are definitely not alone. But by the end of our time together today, you're going to have a strategic tutorial under your belt that will completely change how you approach these texts. We're going to make this simple, actionable, and super clear. So let's get started. So I want to ask you a really direct question right out of the gate. Can you read between the lines? Because ultimately, that is exactly what inference questions are designed to test on the Praxis. The test makers aren't just looking to see if you can parrot back the exact words on the page. No way. They want to know if you can pick up on what the author is suggesting without them explicitly stating it. It's really about navigating those unspoken spaces in a text. And while that might sound a little intimidating or, subjective at first, I promise you, it's actually a highly logical process once you know the rules of the game.
Let's demystify this whole concept and lock in a solid, concrete definition. An inference is literally just the ability to understand something that is not directly stated in the text. It's your power to deduce unstated information. Think of the author as leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for you. They aren't going to just hand you the whole loaf of bread, but they're absolutely going to give you everything you need to find it. Your job? Just follow those clues. Actually, if you find yourself hunting for an answer choice that perfectly matches a sentence in the passage word for word, you're going to get stuck. For inference questions, you have to take that step into the unstated.
Okay, so how exactly do we do that without just blindly guessing? We break it down into a foolproof two-step formula. Step 1, find clues from the text. You absolutely must start with specific textual evidence. You never ever start with what you personally think about the topic. Then, Step 2, apply your own reasoning. You take that concrete clue from the text and you just combine it with basic logic to reach a conclusion. It's kind of like a bridge. One pillar of the bridge is the text itself, and the other pillar is your own logical reasoning. If either of those pillars is missing, the whole bridge collapses, and you end up with a wrong answer.
Let's see how this builds in a real-world micro-narrative. I want to prove to you that you actually already use this skill naturally every single day. Read this with me. Sarah grabbed her umbrella before leaving. That's it. That's our entire reading passage. It's short, it's simple, and it's full of potential. Notice what the text explicitly tells us, our actual textual evidence. The character's name is Sarah. She grabbed a specific object, an umbrella, and she did this prior to departing. Now, put on your detective hat for a second. Based strictly on the sentence we just read, what can we infer? I want you to actively apply our two-step formula right now. Step 1, what's the clue? Well, the specific textual evidence is the umbrella. Step 2, apply your reasoning. Why do human beings grab umbrellas when they leave a building? What implied meaning is hiding just beneath the surface of that incredibly simple sentence?
And boom, there it is. It might rain. Or hey, perhaps it's already raining. Notice how this perfectly fits our definition, to deduce unstated information. The original sentence never actually used the word rain. It never talked about the weather, the clouds, or precipitation at all. But by combining the specific textual evidence, Sarah grabbing an umbrella, with basic human reasoning, we uncover the true implied meaning and arrive at a rock-solid, completely accurate conclusion. You just successfully completed an inference exercise. It really is that straightforward when you apply the formula.
So the crucial point here is knowing exactly when to deploy this skill on the exam. How do you know when the test is asking you to make an inference rather than just asking for a basic stated fact? You've got to look out for specific wording. The Praxis Core Reading test will generally use very predictable phrasing for these questions. You want to train your brain to literally light up when you see the phrases, what can be inferred or what is implied. When you see those words, it's a massive signal flare. It tells you stop looking for a direct quote and start looking for those breadcrumbs to apply your reasoning to. Now let's talk strategy, because mastering this distinction is often the difference between passing and failing the reading section. Let's compare the trap answers with the winning answers. The test makers love to trick you with wrong answers that do one of two things. They either add totally new information or they completely ignore the passage. Introducing outside information is for sure the deadliest trap. Let's go back to Sarah for a second. If an answer choice said Sarah hates getting her hair wet, that's a trap. It introduces outside assumptions that are simply nowhere in the text. We don't know anything about her hair. On the flip side, correct answers are strictly grounded in provided clues. They don't stretch the truth. They rely only on the text and direct logical reasoning. You have to stay disciplined and stay within the boundaries of the passage.
Let's lock this all in with a powerful, concise summary. Inference equals reading between the lines. It is the art of combining what the author says with how the world logically works without ever crossing the line into making up your own facts. If you stick strictly to the clues provided in the text, completely avoid introducing outside information, and make sure your answers are always grounded in those provided clues, you are absolutely going to master this part of the Praxis Core Reading exam. You've got the formula, now you just need to trust it.
And that brings us to the final question. Are you ready to conquer the praxis? You've just seen how a seemingly complex reading comprehension skill can be broken down into something totally manageable. But this is just one piece of the puzzle. If you found this explainer helpful and you want more straightforward, simple lessons that just cut through the noise and give you exactly what you need to pass, make sure you subscribe to Praxis Prep Academy. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. The next time you're reading a challenging passage, ask yourself, what is the author whispering between the words? Keep practicing those clues, trust your reasoning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.